Tonight's show, we're talking about awakening the divine feminine. Now, we all have a divine feminine and divine masculine counterparts. So, guys, this is for you too. And I'm answering all your questions with live readings coming up right now.
Doesn't look like a Devin or David.
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You said like there's something in your end table that you this too.
My God, you're crazy, girl.
Yeah, he's saying hi, baby girl. He's saying hi, baby girl. And is there significance with like image of a rose at all?
He would
Does that
always
make sense?
give me a rose.
Okay, so he's like doing one now. He's saying to work with some sort of like vibrational machine. Somehow a way to work with like machinery and vibration.
I work with horses, and there's actually some MagnaWave therapy that's vibrational.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
So he doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Allow yourself to hear yourself. Allow yourself to feel yourself. Allow yourself to talk to yourself. Allow yourself to respond to yourself. That's looking within.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I said, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
There's a reason why we're on this timeline. There's a reason why we've chosen to be in this awakening. I say we're going through a spiritual awakening.
So I don't just come on here and talk bullshit and repeat. I'm living this stuff.
In harmony with nature, in a mystical adventure, we're building on a vulture.
Happy Thursday Night Live, everybody. How has your week been? Welcome to the Cruisyverse. That's right. So, Pluto's finally officially really in Aquarius, so that's great to have. First Aquas, and we're in Aqua season right now too. So my birthday's just around the corner. So I'm feeling those Aqua vibes. So give your love and your insights and your, I would say, welcoming to your Aqua friends, whatnot. And so it's been an interesting week too, especially with what's going on globally. A lot of changes, a lot of kind of chaotic energy, but there's a lot of optimism too. So as I've been saying for the past month, there's going to be that dichotomy of excitement, but also chaos. But that's kind of part of the territory now that we're in physical reality. And the more we've upgraded into physical reality, the challenges also increase because we are all awakening. But the one thing we have to awaken is our divine feminine. And that is our topic tonight. So I feel like that there's been such a toxic divine masculine energy that's been going on for some time that's kind of pushed away the divine feminine energy. So now that we're walking into, 2025 and with the, Pluto back in Aquarius, it's now time we're going to start resurrecting, reawakening that divine feminine energy. So we'll get into that topic after the collective read. And so let's see who's Chatty Cathy in the room too. See who's on board. We have Jennifer Cruz, my maker. Hello. Brenda Zweck. Hello. Good to see you. Lori Sue, Cragen, I think that's what it says. So we'll just say Lori Sue, welcome aboard. Yes, it actually is very timely. It's actually timely for 2025, and it's about time now that Divine Feminine will start awakening in all of us. So it's very, very true. Wonderful mod Nina is in the room. So if you guys have any questions about how to book a question, it's $15 for a card pull, $20 for one question, $30 for two questions, and $40 for a live video. Nina will help you to get you situated. The PayPal and Venmo links are in the description, but she'll guide you. And please understand, the card pulls will be very simple, general, quick, and the questions course would be more in depth with that as well. So please ask a question that's more suitable for a live show that doesn't require a full read. So be specific with your questions for time's sake. As one, I love that name. Welcome aboard, Debbie Mabry. Good to see you. AC, hello. Iggy, can't you see? I don't always manifest, but when I do, it's the law of attraction, baby. Well, sure, it just happens for you, right? Did you do your 777 affirmations today? I hope you did. Colette Love, good to see you. Horses Trigger Hope, good to see you. PB Bonecutter, Sophie, hello. Sydney Aaron, good to see you. Rhonda, hello. Dana Michael, psyched. Well, I'm psyched to have you here. Great, welcome aboard. Kelly, I think it's Kelly or Kaylee. Kelly Blonde Bomber, good to see you. Daryl Blankupship says, what? You are starting on time? Oh my God. Yeah, that's because it's my show. I always start on time on my show. But those who've been watching Leading Out Loud, check it out. If you missed it this morning, check it out. Again, we were late. Christopher Witecki tends to over encumber himself with too much, so he was having more technical issues. So I'm sitting there waiting. It's not a reflection of me. But yes, starting on time over here on this side of the channel. Lisa Stover, good to see you. Welcome aboard. Suzanne Weiland, hi. Rhonda, hello, good evening. Lisa Stover, I think I said you before. James Porterfield, yo, Scott, got a delivery job driving for DoorDash. The only thing that would work with me having animals. Won't be chatting much, but good to watch the replay later. Interesting. Good to see you, James. Now, James, if I stand corrected, I think I predicted to you a couple months ago that I saw you getting a delivery job, working for a delivery service. So there you go. You got it. Glad to see things moving for you, James. And thanks for the update. We all love hearing the updates. So that's awesome. Who else chatted? Colette Love, good to see you. Kate, hello. Good to see you. Yes, happy aqua season, right? Abby Coe, hello. And Lily Goddess, we'll just go down this chat quickly. Kate Yo, all you all who chatted, Kathy in the room, welcome aboard. And those who are watching, I can't see, I can just see who's chatting. I just want to give shout outs to the chatting. For those of you new, I will start with the collective read. I do utilize tarot and oracle cards. I don't need them, but they're good for collective purposes like this. And then we'll fall right into the topic, Awakening the Divine Feminine, and we'll get into the live reading. So get your readings in quick now, because it's first come, first serve, and I'll get to a point where we'll shut them down. So, don't get left behind. Not to sound like a Christian pastor or anything. Mama Moon's Weather Word. Good to see you. All right, let's get these cards a shuffling. And we'll see, because lately my collective reads have kind of been like coinciding with my topics. And so I just kind of create a topic. I don't like lay out or plan out what I'm going to say. I always think of a topic, put it out there, and then I just come on here and just babble. So, Noel Way, good to see you. Welcome aboard, my sister from another mister. Okay. We are shuffling. Yes, Lori, see me again, right? Right on, I'm sure you probably are following me from Leading Out Loud. Okay, let's see what the week ahead has in store for us, collectively. Sometimes I will call out maybe for specific circumstances for specific people, depending on how Spirit wants to lead the collective read on this. So, but we'll see what comes up. All right. We're ready, right? Okay. All right. Okay, let's pull some. This collective reading is going to be kind of what I was just open up saying in the beginning. It's going to be similar to what I was saying, but we'll kind of give some more guidance on this week ahead. And pull some oracle cards here. Okay. All right. Okay. Great. First card is we have the Eight of Wands here. Eight of Wands is all about movement. Now, those who've been following me for a while know that I've been saying for the past, several months that 2025 is going to be a year of movement, a year of tangible manifestation. So the things that you've been planning and seeds you've been planting start coming to tangible manifestation this year. So that's great. So, and that might even be unconscious to you. Things might manifest that you're not really weren't thinking were going to happen for you this year are going to happen because you've been subconsciously planting those seeds and putting that energy into existence, so to speak, previous year and also years prior. So with the Seven of Pentacles too, it's also saying that like you're waiting for things to harvest. So you will feel like there's movement and a stop and pull energy this week, right? You feel things are going, then you might feel constipated in the sense that you might feel like, do I need to do something else? I feel like things are moving forward, but do I need to do something else? Take a step back, take a break. Because you still have to nourish your well-being. You still got to get prepared, get ready for the things that press play in the universe, so to speak. So that means you're allowing yourself to nourish your intellectual and emotional well-being. That also coincides with your spiritual well-being as well. So understand, you might be psychically feeling like things are moving and psychically feeling there's like some sort of a pull and momentum. Just understand you have to go with that flow. And be more intuitive with the steps you need to take moving forward. So don't be in a waiting stage. I think waiting is so disempowering. Oh, I'm just waiting for things to happen. You want to start feeling how things are happening, feeling the impulses, because collectively, a lot of us are going to feel that collective current of energy. And those of you guys who are empaths, I know a lot of us who are empaths, we feel the collective currents when it's chaotic, when it's heavy, when it's depressed. We feel that collective current. So you're going to feel this collective current of things feel like they're moving, but I don't know where it's going to. Just understand that's just the movement of of the energy of the collective that's starting to pick up, you can still allow yourself to be at peace at the beginning of that move. So don't be like speculating about what's going to happen, when's going to happen. Just understand that you're still moving forward step by step. And the King of Swords is a very kind of domineering energy, being very refined with your emotions. So during this time, it is very important that you're refined with your emotions. So you understand, your objective and purpose. That all because it's a new year doesn't mean all you came out of the skies and just like plopped down in physical reality. Your evolution that you've had during this lifetime, what you've been doing and what your objectives have been to get to the future and where you want to do to evolve into the future. You already know this. So don't think because you've changed, don't think because you've let go of certain things, because you set boundaries for the past year or so, that all of a sudden, like, I don't know what's happening next. I feel confused. Things are changing. You know where you're going. Now's the time to navigate the empathic energy, because this is where the divine feminine really is going to start to manifest. All you guys are going to start feeling very, very intuitive, and you're not going to know where it's coming from. And it might give you, with the Nine of Swords, it might give you some anxiety, might give you some restless energy. You might feel like I can't sleep. You might feel very restless. You might feel antsy. But now's the time that we have to do, when we talk about nourishment, that you need to nourish those feelings. You need to nourish the fact of, I'm feeling something, and go deeper saying, what is it? And you also want to ask yourselves, is what you're picking up on from other people, is what you're picking up on from the collective, or what you're picking up on is individual to yourself? It's important for us to start deciphering this. And so I'm also starting a course soon, probably within February. We're trying to align it and work it out, called Psychic 101. So I'm trying to iron it all out. And I want to utilize Christopher's step system and kind of correlate the two to reflect back and forth. So it's taking a little more time because of that. But I feel like it's time for people to understand their own intuition, their own intuitive abilities, and how a lot of you empaths are getting sick or feeling sick as you are picking up on the collective energy and you're sponging off of that. Now's the time you have to be recognizing this. Now's the time to understand that you are picking up on the intuitive energy of self and also the collective, and what to do with that. And so now, when I say what to do with that, it really is just kind of being objective about it. It really is about sitting back and understanding that, that you do have the ability to observe, you do have the ability to feel and understand it's okay just to be objective. You don't necessarily have to do anything with these feelings. But in that nourishing phase, when you feel this intuitive pulses and these intuitive pulls and currents, you want to be able to understand, where do you want to be expressing yourself? Where do you want to be expressing your abilities? Where do you want to be expressing your voice, your creativity, your intellect? Where do you want to be expressing that now? Because with the intuitive awareness, you can maneuver around things that may not actually fall into alignment to your own purpose. You can also maneuver around energies or information or resources that just don't really align with your purpose. So you understand to shut it off, or to set the boundaries, to purge yourself or to purge those things away from you, so you can be more, I would say, clear focused and more clear intended of what you really want to express for yourself. So in this, age of Aquarius, I think this first, 2 to 3 weeks, I would say. So we're kind of doing the forecast of the week. You're going to feel this kind of restless energy of such. Understand, we got to honor the intuition. We got to find out what we're intuitively feeling and make sense of that. And then also ask ourselves, is this individual or collective? And then find ways to express and to nourish the self in I would say, in ways, maybe ways that we haven't done before. Maybe participating in things that you didn't participate in before. Maybe you want to participate in a hobby or start a new business idea or get that going. Now's the time to reconsider this. Now's the time to say, maybe this actually could be turned into a reality. Maybe it is the fact that, you have to kind of leave a relationship right now too. And you're like, now's the time to do this now. Now's the time for me to exit that relationship, whether it be a romantic relationship, whether it be a family relationship or a friendship. You guys are intuitively feeling like, I'm absorbing so much. And now these relationships that are in my life that have been depriving of me, they're actually really absorbing and taking from me. I can feel it. I can feel the deprivation, right? So it's time to be very stern now with our emotions and really kind of like swing that sword like the King of Swords and say, nope, I'm cutting that out. Nope, I'm cutting this out, because my intuition, my empathy is expanding. It's increasing. It's amplifying. I don't have the energetic bandwidth to just keep things around just because. It's not going to work anymore, right? This is where you find the pleasure, right? It's where you find the pleasure, because, when you start recognizing, I feel things, I'm honoring my feeling, and so I never felt right about this relationship, it's got to go. I never felt right about this position or job, it's got to go. I never feel right about what I was doing before, my behavior before, so that's got to go. Then you start finding more pleasure. You start actually enjoying your life and the things that you're engaging with, because you're now able to use your discernment to understand the things in your life that are causing either a gray area or a black area or a void. And you get rid of it. Start filling that in with things that are pleasurable to you. And, this is interesting that the self-love card comes up. And we were just talking about that. That was a topic this morning on Leading Out Loud, because, we really need to understand what self-love really is. And so, to be repetitive from this morning, what I've been saying, self-love just means that you know yourself. You understand what you feel. You understand your preferences. You understand your perspective. You understand what your expression really is. You understand where you are on the heart level without reservation. You honor your heart. You honor the self. You honor your voice. That's true self-love. And then you allow yourself to put love into the things that maybe you deprived yourself of before. Because there's a lot of people that, we live in our culture. It's been very misleading in the sense of like when people are at, maybe have gained some weight and are overweight and maybe mistreated their bodies because of emotional deprivations. They've gained some weight. And, we're taught to love themselves. Like, well, I don't love what I see in the mirror, so I don't love it. I can't lie to myself. Say, I love being overweight, or I love being fat, or I can't say that. So we're forcing ourselves to lie to ourselves. Like, we cannot do that. You don't have to love the mistakes that you've made. You need to accept them, but put love into it to change it. Say, and look at yourself saying, what did I do? Why did I let myself go? Why did I treat my body this way? This is self-love. Does my body deserve this treatment? Do I deserve deprivation of health? Do I deserve, ill health? And you'd say no. And so you look at yourself, say, I have compassion for myself, to put love and to treat myself with kindness. That's self-love. It doesn't mean you have to love yourself for the damage that you've done. It's okay to say, look, I need to change things and honor the fact that, yes, I've made some mistakes, but that's okay. I can change it. That's self-love, right? True self-love. But then knowing what you truly need, because there's a reason why people gain weight. There's a reason why people fall into depression. There's a reason why people have these challenges in life, because there's a deprivation somewhere around the line where they were not able to allow themselves to receive love, because of a circumstance, a trauma, whatever it may be. And so this is where we have to kind of look and ask ourselves, why? Why did I make those decisions? Where's that stemming from? And what do I need to change that perspective or outlook on my personal life to put love into what I know I need to put love into? That's self-love. And as we discussed this morning, this is really what the divine feminine is. And we're kind of we're approaching the topic in just a minute, because it's kind of leading into it quite nicely. Is that, we've been in a society culturally, work, make money, gotta, post these things and social media and, money, get the money, pay the bills. It's been very toxic. It's like a divine masculine out of order. Fight, get the job, gotta keep pushing forward, work. And so even the divine masculine is not that compulsive or needy. See, in order to understand what's out of order, because I definitely see divine masculine and divine feminine is out of order, but what's really been pushed aside is our divine feminine energy. And so we see it be, perverted through culture, and kind of flip-flopped. And I do believe, exploiting those who have, sexual identity crises. And as a gay man, I can speak of this. It's exploiting people who have issues and out of balance with the divine feminine, divine masculine, and treating it like it's some sort of a joke or a game. And I say a lot of this out of balance with divine feminine, divine masculine, or even gender issues come from previous incarnations and unresolved from previous incarnations. But when we speak about divine feminine and divine masculine, I'm not talking about gender. We're talking about essence. Because there are many females that are very divine masculine oriented. And there's a lot of men who are very divine feminine oriented. And a lot of times it's out of balance. And we need to understand that each divine feminine counterpart and divine masculine counterpart, they both have a duality. So there's an empowering side to divine feminine and a disempowering side to divine feminine. A disempowering side to divine feminine is overly sensitive to where you feel weak and disempowered. The out of balance of divine masculine is to where you feel that you're pushing through all ego and you have no compassion, no empathy, just push through and bulldoze over people. That's divine masculine out of order. So it's important for us to identify which polarity of the divine masculine or divine feminine are we operating in. Now, collectively, we've been operating in a very divine masculine out of order energy, which has suppressed the divine feminine in order energy. So that means, we've been hearing a lot in culture, and I'm not politically, charged on either side, but there is something to be said about the toxic masculinity energy, that it just shows that, a lot of the males, genders, have lost sight of their divine feminine energy. And so the divine feminine energy, let's talk about what that means, Lee. It's a very nurturing energy. It's creative. It's intuitive. It's in tune. It's healing. It's nurturing. And there's an essence of power to the divine feminine that doesn't need to prove anything. It can just show up and just change the energy. It can change the tone by its essence of the nurturing energy that it absorbs and the nurturing energy that exhibits from that energy. So, and that, of course, spawns psychic. Your psychic abilities can spawn from that divine feminine energy, become more psychic, more in tune. That could also spawn into healing energy, wisdom, teaching, nurturing, and nurturing energy means that you're helping people to heal from their past traumas and their past karmic energy. It's creative. You see things in a different way. It's vibrant. That's the divine feminine energy, right? It's understanding. It doesn't bulldoze. Now, that's the divine feminine energy that's in order. A divine feminine energy out of order is completely sensitive, needy, overcompensating, exhausting your nurturing energy to where you start creating codependency in your relationships. That's divine feminine out of order. And a divine feminine out of order means that the divine masculine start to overcompensate. So you get these women that say, I don't need a man. I don't need a man in my life. No, I can do everything myself. Like that's divine feminine, divine masculine out of order. You see, because divine masculine in order is a protective energy. It's a warrior energy. It's a go-getter, right? It's a giver, a protector, a provider, right? We think of those simple terminology. That's divine, masculine energy. It's an angelic energy. Just will protect. Doesn't need anything in return. And it really doesn't provide much, I would say, internal wisdom, the divine masculine. It's more about, the drive. It's more about the ambition. It's more about the warrior spirit energies, divine masculine energy. And that's in order. It's protective. And also that protective energy could be very nurturing and sheltering. Right? But, you can't have one without the other because even that protecting energy, you also need to have an energy of creativity. That's why the divine masculine and divine feminine need to be in order. We need to understand the balance between the two because if you're just nurturing all the time and creative and intuitive, you might not move anywhere. You might not go anywhere. You might not be able to push yourself anywhere because you don't have that doer, protective warrior spirit energy that the divine masculine brings to us. So, and there's people who just have that warrior spirit energy. They don't have empathy, like I said before, because it's out of balance. So we need to learn how to sync that. But we need to start doing is understanding and tapping deeper and diving deeper way into the divine feminine, which is now part of this evolution that we're doing in our human species. So I think, again, divine feminine, what we're going to start seeing moving forward in 2025 now is that one, the intuition, like I said before, diving deep into our intuition, being that psychic ability starting to permeate through yourself, creative flow and creative energy. But in order to understand how to express the abundant nurturing energy, we have to understand the self-love and nurturing of the self first. And that means, we said this earlier, and we're being repetitive about this, setting your boundaries, understanding the value and the worth of the abilities that you express, understanding the value and the worth of the nurturing energy that you can provide. But what is the purpose behind that nurturing energy? And then being creative and allowing yourself to do so. Then we bring in the divine masculine energy of being that warrior spirit to push it out there, to bring that drive and to be that go-getter and doer in the physical world. It's a very grounding energy, the divine masculine energy. So again, as the divine feminine within us is very spiritual, very creative. So this is I would say 2025 years where we're going to start seeing that now permeate in our collective, which is wonderful. And so for all you guys who are watching, embracing the fact that, even for us guys, we have to embrace the fact that we do want to nurture, and most men want to protect women and so forth. And so we can understand we have both essences of that. We can protect and nurture at the same time. Same thing with females. You guys can nurture and protect at the same time. And being a mother brings that divine masculine, divine feminine balance, because you see a mother that was a nurture a child, but they would protect and defend that child to no end. Right? So you get to see that kind of balance coming to play, that love and protection energy. That's when we're a whole being, when we understand that duality. And so, and the problem I find with a lot of people is that they feel like they have to pick one or the other. oh, well, I'm a guy, so I'm can only be, this and wear blue. And, we formatted the human consciousness to be so divisive in that way. Even look at our media is divisive. Our politics are divisive. Walmart and Target, red versus blue, Coke versus Pepsi, red versus blue, Democrat versus Republican, blue versus red. It's the same kind of divisive energy, pink and blue, girl versus boy. It's okay to understand the counterparts, but they do not need to be separated just because of gender or because of how we're expressing ourselves in the physical form. Now we can say to ourselves, if we're divine masculine, divine feminine in balance, we might be able to allow ourselves to express that through our gender and to coincide with our gender, whatever that may be. And so, but I think, again, we need to really kind of develop more of our divine feminine first, because we've lost sight of nurturing tremendously in our culture. And so, and you see a lot of just judgmental energy that's divine masculine out of order. And so when we focus on this now, the way you evolve your work, the way you evolve your creativity, the way you evolve your relationships will skyrocket. They will skyrocket because then you'll have insight on how to nurture your relationship. So that means that if there's a relationship that's not going very well for you, you might recognize that you just haven't been showing up the way you should be showing up. You realize, let me nurture this relationship, whatever dynamic that relationship is. Let me show up. I've been too hard on the people in my life. Or you might be the divine feminine out of balance to where you're actually giving too much to those individuals and not receiving enough for yourself. You're not getting enough in return. Then you start really demanding, look, I need to be nurtured too. Excuse me, the yin to the yang. Just as much as you give, you need to receive the same amount in return, if not more. And finding that balance too about what you're outputting versus what you're inputting, and giving and receiving in the ebb and flow. So we're going to give birth now to this really new level, I would say, of divine feminine. And I don't people tend to misinterpret divine feminine energy with that nurturing energy with being weak. It's not weak. Divine feminine energy is very powerful. It's equally powerful divine masculine. We need both. We're not one being without one or the other. So, but we're going to have a huge, I would say, upgrade in human consciousness when it comes to that divine feminine energy. And we're going to understand divine feminine energy isn't trying to prove anything. It just is, and it shapes and it shifts and it influences in a very magical and very powerful way. And it doesn't need to be extroverted. It doesn't need to be overt. It could just be very subdued. And even with our divine masculine energy too, the divine masculine energy has its most power, and it sits back with the most gentlest touch. It has the most power. And that's the kind of combination. That is the integration that we're going to start finding. But it's going to start first with our divine feminine to get the toxic, out of balance divine masculine in check too. So this is Age of Aquarius. And the wonderful benefits of this is huge solidification in the individual self and knowing the individual self, but then understanding the dimensionality of this, how this individual self and love the individual self expands into the collective and how that influences. That's a wonderful balance that we get to see. That's a wonderful dynamic that we'll get to enjoy without having to fight against anything or change anything. We're influencing. And that's a big difference. That we're not fighting against things and trying to change people. We're influencing. We're allowing ourselves to take a step back to say, I'm going to inspire this. I'm going to put love into the circumstance. I'm not going to fight the circumstance. I'm not going to wage war on the circumstance because of my divine masculine's out of balance. I'm actually going to keep in order my divine masculine, which means I'm going to be standing strong in what I believe and feel. I'm going to allow myself to be an influence into things that I feel out of order and bring in the balance for others. And even the divine feminine is very much in tune to understanding when things need to be out of order for certain people so they can learn and evolve and to grow. Okay, and so the divine feminine spirit understands evolution. It's like the mother that gives a child tough love. It understands that child needs to go through those trials and tribulations to grow and to become a stronger individual. This is the divine feminine energy. So even with our collective, we'll understand that certain people just have to experience certain things. We'll take our hands off and allow ourselves to nurture the situation, but then allow the process to unfold the way it needs to unfold. That's a complete different side of nurturing people do not understand. The hands-off approach is a huge nurturing component that people are not aware of. The leading by example energy, divine feminine energy. And so when this starts awakening human consciousness, we're going to have more understanding, but we're also going to understand how out of balance our divine feminine has been this whole time. So there will be a lot of judgments. There'll be a lot of emotional reactions, a lot of chaotic energy, a lot of people screaming for attention, a lot of people screaming for inequity. So that's going to happen again, this year. But that's also going to be reflective of how much we need to nurture now, right? And so again, I think this is the time for us to start being conscious of this now, because we're going to have a huge upgrade in that nurturing energy, that nurturing component, that creative energy, the psychic awareness, the psychic energy, the spiritual energy. And if you're still operating in a divine masculine out of order energy, doesn't matter if you're male or female, you're going to feel disconnected. You're going to feel that you're not able to, no one's going to be relating to you. You're not going to be able to relate to other people. You're going to feel like you're not fitting in, right? So, and we will see with the balance of divine feminine, that divine masculine coming in, we'll start seeing what that strength really means and how it actually does express through different genders. How the divine masculine will be expressed through the male format and how the divine masculine will be expressed through the female format. We'll get to see that. We'll understand the counterparts of such. So this is the awakening, guys. And this is what we should be very much, excited for, because, the divine feminine is the port, is the channel to our spiritual gifts. And the divine masculine solidifies it. The divine masculine makes it, be expressed in the physical world. So let's make sure that we're allowing that channel to open now, that we can receive and be aware of what our spiritual gifts are, and we can attune to those spiritual frequencies, so then we can actually solidify that with our divine masculine in the physical world and own it and stand firm in it. It's like the divine masculine will be the co-signer for everything that we've created, everything that we've inspired, everything that we've received from spirit. The divine masculine is going to be the co-signer, says, yep, this is what I believe. This is what I stand firm in. And this is what I'm going to utilize with my expression to inspire. Not only to inspire myself, but to inspire others. Boom, you're in balance. You're in perfect balance. So let me pull a couple cards in closing, but that's kind of it. I mean, it's rather simple. And really, it's just being a message right now about, awakening the divine feminine energy. And, so a lot of you guys are going to feel very creative this year too. And what I mean, when I say creative, I want to be clear that I don't always mean you're being like artistically creative. That could be it too. But I'm saying creativity, expressing that, and like maybe being creative in your relationships. You'll start looking at ways that you can be creative with your communication. That's a very divine feminine energy, because it's nurturing. You're taking a situation, you're nurturing it. And you're able to broaden your point of view to say, no, my communication has been so off. Let me start nurturing how I communicate. You'll be creative on how you communicate, and watch the results that you get from just changing your communication style. Put more nurturing into your communication or your presentation, or more creative in how you listen, your listening skills. All these things you get to expand your perspective on, is starting to see where the flaws have been and tweaking that. And then having a more creative experience, more enjoyable experience, because you're allowing yourself to nurture all these different dynamics in your life. And again, the divine masculine is going to solidify that and crystallize it in your expression in physical reality. Okay? So again, we need both, and we are both. So, if someone's saying, well, I'm a girl's girl. What does that really mean when you say you're a girl's girl? Or I'm a boy's boy. What does that really mean? Right? Because, when you're in order, you're a girl's girl and a boy's girl. I mean, you understand that you kind of can lean on both of the essences of divine feminine, divine masculine, and you're at peace with that. And look, we can sway different periods of our lives, right? And that's kind of role playing. I would say we get so hung up over role playing so much too in this world, right? And so personally, I'm a gay man, but I love being masculine energy in the physical form. I enjoy it. I love that. I love being a man, but I also love being a sensitive man, right? So we're gonna role play a little bit and express that physically, and there's nothing wrong with that either, because we also need some that are more dominant in divine mass and more dominant divine feminine to bring that balance forth. But it doesn't mean we have to only pick one. We're going to sway, but, we came into role play too. There's nothing wrong with this. Don't get lost in the role playing though. Understand that we are expressing our balance in different ways through the role playing, but understand how you are balanced with the divine feminine, divine masculine. Okay? That is the path. And that is the self-reflection that we're saying that's going to blossom. I love that these cards just kind of came up like that. So we're blossoming here through self-reflection by knowing the self. That's self-love. All right? Let's see what y'all saying in the comment section here. What you guys talking about? Tomboy bitches. Right. See, now that's just an expression. But we can role play tomboy and play around with, gender and stuff like that. And some people, again, we've been so traditional that approach in our evolution. But, that doesn't mean anything if you choose to be more like boy acting or girl acting. Those are constructs. Not that I'm saying we to, get rid of the constructs. They're just constructs. It doesn't mean that because they're constructs that we can't think outside those constructs, but there's nothing wrong with having those constructs either. So I think we've been so polarized in our culture that because there's anomalies to the constructs, or those who think outside that construct are somewhat blended between the construct, that somehow that's wrong, or the fact that those who think outside the box of those constructs, that the constructs are wrong. It's like, it's all good. It's all correct. And I think we all need to be in acceptance of that, and so, and I know many people like to kind of change their perspective, or change their genders, or love to do drag and love to be a man, and like to play around with that. There's nothing wrong with this. We need to be more accepting of that. Be more, not being so polarized about things. And there's people who just love playing a man role. Great. Love playing that construct of a female role. That's good too. It's all good. It all works. Right? All right. So that's the topic of divine feminine. It really isn't much deeper to really go on with that. It's rather simple, and understand the essence of such. And I also want to add to that too. Divine feminine is also in tune to emotional expression. It's also in tune of sharing feelings, also in tune of being transparent with emotions and what you feel, and owning that too. So understand that the more you dive into this divine feminine energy, you'll feel more expressive. Whether it be expressing your emotions, expressing your disdain, or expressing your sensitivity, expressing your past, whatever it may be, you'll feel like it's got to come out of you. Divine feminine out of order holds back. And that's because the divine masculine is also out of order, because it's all like trying to protect itself from being harmed. So, so that's both out of order. So divine feminine needs to express. And so the divine feminine could just stand firm in your expression, as you know, to use these both in order versus out of order. But you'll be able to express yourself, and it wouldn't matter how others see it. You'll understand why people see what they see too. Like, they don't like it, you understand why they don't like your expression. You'd be okay with that. You wouldn't have to be in contempt or try to hold back. That's also a divine feminine out of order, is that holding back energy. So the I don't give a damn energy is the divine masculine as well, but also the divine feminine has the same energy of I don't give a damn too, because it's standing firm in its own expression, and that's the blossoming energy. All right. We got this. It's gonna be an interesting start of this new paradigm in 2025, especially with this divine feminine awakening within us. And those who've maybe never felt creative are gonna feel creative to do something new. And that there might be a lot of new job changes this year, a lot of movement, a lot of moves this year too, right? And so, but it also brings a lot of, with our collective world, a lot of banter, a lot of chaos in our collective world too. So there will be a lot of shifting going on this year. A lot of movement, so it's positive. So make sure you're in tune to your divine feminine, so you can be psychic enough to maneuver around the chaos to still get your divine purpose manifest. Because we all came forward with divine purpose, and so everything in our external world that we're experiencing is part of our karmic evolution too. That's why we're observing it. That's why we're a part of it. But we don't have to be a privy to it if we're learning from it. We can still maneuver it, be unscathed by it when we're psychically in tune. Okay? And again, that psychic awareness comes from the divine feminine, baby. So let it permeate out of you. And so we have a quick message from Nina, and then we'll get into live readings. Here's a quick message from Nina, and she also has a
What is
message.
up, Thursday crew? Okay, so when I was tapping into the energy, I saw this visualization of a womb space, a big, gigantic womb space just breathing, kind of like that fascia energy when it breathes life in and out. And I saw and I heard my guides show me it's the divine feminine getting ready in labor to give birth to itself again. And when I was asking my guides, I was like, why is there a rebirth of this? And my guides were saying that the masculine and the energies going into this year is going to highly depend on the divine feminine. A lot of masc energies will come to the divine feminine to seek guidance, nurturance, support, but also soft power. I'm hearing it's going to be a release of aggressive, forceful power of getting things done, and more of a divine feminine certainty of softness, of certainty, of basically badass bitchery, is the energy that came through. And a lot of that's also connected to the body, I'm hearing. a lot of stepping into your divine feminine sexual space, and we all have it. We have the masc and the femme, but I'm hearing the wounded parts of the divine femme are going to be reawakening, and a lot of that comes through how we navigate nurturing our body and knowing when to stop over nurturing externally and give that kind of energy inward to our solar plexus. And the solar plexus looks like also it's getting a lot of updates for the divine femme, moving out the energy of helplessness and worry. And instead of it, coming in is firmness and certainty and absolute sheer power. And soft power isn't without divine feminine rage, but it's just done a little bit differently, and it can be expressed through the body in really, really beautiful ways. And so almost kind of like when a star is born or when there's like a universal like explosion, it's kind of that kind of orgasmic energy that's coming through. And I feel like it's time to step into your divine feminine aspects and really, really go ahead and embrace them this week, because it's just preparing you for what's to come.
Is that a play in words there? What's to come after you said sexual energy, Nina? Sorry. But actually, am I? No, I'm not muted. Okay. But true, because, that is part of, sexual energy is both divine masculine and divine feminine, but the sexual energy of divine feminine is also nurturing sexually. It is also expressive, and, the divine energy, masculine feminine energy sexually is like, it draws in. You know what I'm saying? It draws it in, right? It knows how to attract. It knows how to allure. It knows how to just like be a vibrant, attractor in that sense. So the divine masculine wants to go seek it out. That's why, we have men and women, women like to be chased, men chase. There's something to be said about that. But divine feminine energy just knows itself, its essence, and can open up and just allow it to attract. And so that also means sexually, you're opening it up. You're understanding where you're sharing your energy with. So good point, on that one. I love that. About the sexual energy too. I was saving the sexual talk because we're going to talk about that actually in the next couple of weeks on LOL. But I'm glad you kind of brought that up in there, Nina, too. That's wonderful. Okay, now, excuse me. Let's get to these live readings, shall we? Okay, let me log on in here. Make sure you can hear me too. That my mic isn't like turning around here. Yeah, Flux, it used to be such a horrible. Oh yeah, let's see. It used to be such a hornball my whole life, and then suddenly it went away a few months away. Well, it comes in. I think it comes in timing, different spaces, I would assume. But sometimes, the sexual energy, if the sexual energy has kind of gone away, there's a reason you're probably looking more within now. You probably be more like isolated, you'd be more self-reflective. So that usually happens. The sexual energy side takes a downside when you're trying to introspect. So there's nothing wrong with that. I think the more you introspect and you clean out the kinks of karma or unresolved from trauma, then the sexual energy starts opening up again. But we also have age and time on our sides too, so there also could be those variables as well. So depending how we're also treating our bodies health-wise. Okay, first question from Sydney. Okay, got some news. Landlord may not renew lease because his son is moving back to Atlanta. Can you give insight on timeline and if you see any specific property type? I find I was feeling settled, balanced, don't want to move. Are we sending out of this home? Okay. I told you I saw a move coming, Sydney. I know you didn't like that the last time I said that in a read. But I do feel a move coming. So, and I said this a while ago too. I'm trying to see location. But I don't know where the hell you're at now. Just drop some cards. There'll be a move, but I feel like I know you felt settled, but that's more energetically that you feel settled and emotionally feel settled. I don't think necessarily that means you settled in, physically. I think there's a location that's better serving for you, and it might be in a different state, or it might be a different city, or where you finally want to be. I feel like an environment you really want to be. And so I do feel a move to a different state or to where you want to be, fine, initially, And I think this is pushing you to that. Chariot the Star. So if I had to, read these cards based on your question, it's like saying you're kind of moving to a space that's really centered about where you want to be. So you started to settle down spiritually and emotionally, but that just means now the location's got to match now too, and an environment that's more suitable to how you settled in, to how you settled more into your own energy and set your boundaries up. So yeah, this is time to move. I said this a couple months ago, Sydney. I remember on my live show about this question. I said, I saw a move happening. And you kind of just brushed it off. You were like, oh, I'm not moving. Maybe he's just wrong about that. I'm like, no, but you are. So here it is. But I just think the location is going to be more reflective of where you want to be. And that's just going to be more reflective and more in correlation to the change you've made internally, psychically, and spiritually, all that great stuff. So I know you didn't want to believe it. That happens to me all the time. I'm gonna be a little make fun of y'all for a moment, because y'all like, I want to know the future. Give me the future, and I give the future like, I would never do that. No, and then it happens. It's like, oh, so it's like if you don't want to know the future, don't ask about the future. I tell people, right? No, I see a home. I see a house. I find you'll be in a place where you can still get a house, not an apartment. So you'll find a place that can accommodate. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't see any issues with that at all. No, you might even find a place that has more land or more lot, more land a lot. But yeah, you could expect there's something with November. So maybe like by November, like you'll know, or you'll be there by November. I feel a highlight November, Of course. These are the simple worries, my love. Yes, the kids will have friends there. The kids will make friends. Especially your kids are really good personally. Like they will make friends. So, but yeah, I think it feels more communal to me. Like that's the whole point of being around a community, like we said before, of what you need, right, and what you've been missing. So yes. Why is the music playing? Was this music just playing? I don't know if you guys, heard the music underneath all that. Might have been distracting. But yeah, okay. Next question we got from BBL from Beth L. I miss the man I was seeing. Miss being with him and going out with him. Does he want to talk to me, be with me, or want me back? If yes, does he want me to reach out to him? If no, then why not? Well, Beth, I don't feel like this individual doesn't feel to be individually focused to me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this person bounces around a lot. So they go from this person, then they go to this person, then go to this person. So I think he's just always preoccupied. So wanting you back or wanting to move forward, I don't think he feels that about anybody. I feel like he just wants to bounce around. So I personally, for you, I would hope that you wouldn't want him back because of that energy. So I would definitely move on from that, because I feel like he's bouncing around, has eyes on so many different people, and isn't really going to stay put or, create a foundation for himself in a relationship. And so I think he microdoses relationships like that. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like he does. Microdoses relationships. And so I would say I would want you to like remove yourself from that equation. Personally. Danny S. You were so right about my son changing schools. He seems to be doing okay with the quick change, but this is 8th school he's been in. He's only in 4th grade. It goes all the way to high school. Will he be able to stay long term? Thank you. You are brilliant. Well, thank you for that. I love the compliments there. Thank you. Because most people just thought, oh, I would never do that. But I'm glad that you and Sydney today are like, oh, you're right. But it's not about being right. I just want you guys to find your way. I was talking about this somebody before about they came back in a session and they were like, oh, your predictions came to pass. Like, does that make you happy? And I'm like, it doesn't make me happy. I want to be happy that you guys are on your path, but also happy that you know that there is a purpose. That makes me happy. So predictions come to pass is like a dare to me, doing this for so long. I want to make sure you guys are good. But all right, sorry about that off topic. Danny, I feel like there's sustainability here. I do like the fact that it goes on to high school. I do like that fact, but I think your son is going to benefit from the fact that he's been around to the new schools. I feel like it's really going to help him to adjust to change. I feel like in the future, he's going to maybe want to travel more. So I think that it's going to affect your son in a positive way, that he's changed a lot this way. And it's going to make him more confident. So yeah, I feel like this school feels like there's more sustainability here. And potentially maybe all through high school. So this one feels pretty good. Feels more solid to me on that. I know. I like to give you all a hard time because y'all we give each other hard times. That's just out of love. That's like brother-sister energy. But I love you too, of course. It's just that's been coming up a lot lately because I think I'm in a period now where the predictions I made are coming back. So we had a lot of people with the predictions that came to pass, and they're coming back now and want to know what's next. So I've been hearing a lot of people saying that. So I've been kind of just teasing people because I know as a psychic, we don't usually get the validation in sessions because people are not aware. So I'm just being playful, of course. That's part of the territory. But yes, Danny, more longevity, more sustainability. And I feel like this experience has helped your son to really develop more of the confidence of change, a confidence of meeting new people. It's going to benefit him in the future, believe it or not. So it feels all good to me in that way, Your Candy Striper? Candy. That's awesome. That's funny. Cool. Yeah. That's the first time I heard that before, but sure. I mean, I look like a gigolo with my shirts all the time, right? Yes, my love. And understand, like, always turn these things into a positive for him. Like, present it to your son, like, this is good, like, meet new people. Like, it's always, let him know there's always a place for him to meet people and to adjust. Like, this is a really good learning curve for him at a young age to be very confident. And that will help him with his career in the future. Because I feel like his career will involve being around a lot of people and travel in his future. So it seems like it's right on board to what he needs, Don't forget, like, life lessons we have is also molding us for our future too. And we might not think it's related, but when we look back, everything's always connected in our lives. And so we have to look back and say, I went through this trauma because now that's what I'm doing for a living, or, understand these things that we go through in life always are there to refine us and to mold us and to shape us. But yeah. Yes, Kenny Strippers. I know Striper, but you're saying stripper. I did that in my 20s when I was put myself through school and music school. Well, not music school, but I was like developing my music production and getting to music composing and TV. And so I did stripping in my 20s. That's part of my past. It's out there. So been dead, done that. Been through a lot through my traumas, and I'm very transparent about all of it. Because we evolve, right? Okay, we have Kristen V card pull. Just a gigolo. I know, right, Erica? I mean, I just feel comfortable with, like, when I button this, it just feels like I feel like tight, I know, when I just have it like a little open, I just feel more comfortable and not so dressy. That's why I do that, So if it's gigolo, I'm like, whatever, I'm comfy and I can breathe. Right? All right, so Kristen, here's a card pull. I had fun doing that, though. I met different people. Like, the psychology, that's true, Erica, right? Because to me, it was psychological. I did that and I was purging trauma when I did that. And to me, it was a psychological, I don't know, challenge or I don't know what word I can use for that. It was definitely an experience for me psychologically. And I definitely was working with a lot of psychological trauma from my past, abuse experiences and sexual experiences. But I also got to see the other side of people who go to see strippers and all that stuff. And I understood a lot about people's minds and why people, and the loneliness of people. So when I was doing that, I was observing all of it. And I always said back then, I said, this is my therapy. And it really did help to refine me, to see things differently, to, change a lot of my past trauma. So believe it or not, it really was awesome. Thank you, Aquila Pan. Thank you for that. that comment. Okay. I love, and yeah, Tarek, You're amazing, Kristen. I'm just still shuffling your cards, so thanks for being patient. So, you know, Tara, I actually, pink and purple are my favorite colors. I just love purple, and I love purples and pinks, and I like kind of blue connected with that. But as you can see, even here, like I use purple on here, so I love those colors. I never used to, but like the past like 5-6 years, I've been in love with purple. Okay. Thanks for waiting, Kristen. They're still shuffling these cards here, so how do I want to? How can I read this with these cards here? Which direction am I going to go in with that? I don't know, because I don't feel like you're dealing with this, but I feel like you have to drop a lover or drop a lover energy. So if this hasn't happened yet, this might come about where someone from the past resurfaces or someone from the past comes back in, and you might have to like just turn it down. Don't be nurturing. Don't be, considering this person because they're from the past and they might be coming around with a good message or a very, enticing stance. Don't fall for it. Okay, so this might be a past relationship, past person. It's testing you because, when these tests come in, it's good. That means you're changing, you're evolving, something new is about to happen. So when that comes in, it could also be a past friendship. It doesn't have to be a past lover. It could also be a past friendship. I just feel past energy coming in, trying to be like, oh, hey, how's it going? And try to make things better again. And maybe before in the past, you used to maybe accommodate them or just like give them the benefit of the doubt. And this time it's saying, no, you're not going to. So it could be an ex or even just a past friend or any type of relationship. It doesn't feel specific to me. And that test is going to be what's going to close out a lot of karma. It's going to close out a lot of karma. And so, which will open doors to new relationships. That will open doors to, not even just new relationships romantically, but with friendships too. Right? So when these tests come in and these like blasts from the past come in, guys, remember, this is you because you've made a change. This is resurfacing to try to cling back on, And many people who maybe they're in the past, they can feel that you've evolved energetically, so then they want a piece of that. That's kind of normal. It's like textbook. So when that comes in for you, Kristen, just don't give them benefits. Say, no, I'm good. We had our time, our friendship or relationship was what it was, and so I'm good. Like, we're good. I'm glad things are going well for you. See ya. So to do that, So, but maybe it is, because I don't get like a lover energy. So maybe it is more like a friendship or someone you were close to, and we're saying, nope, drop it. Drop it like it's hot, but not in a good way. I just feel like maybe there's something more for that before I move on from this. I just want to see if there's anything else. So. Yeah, this person is like a leech on you, Kristen. There's like a leech on you. The Five of Wands, it's like someone who is dishonest, someone who speaks from both sides of the mouth. I feel like there's other people involved. So maybe there was like other parties involved with this competing ideas or something, and she understands that your empathy. So this is your High Priest card is you being the empath. So she's taking advantage of this. But I feel like there's other people like that are involved in your dynamic that I feel like she's also been taken advantage of or something. I don't know if it was regarding money too, or something legal. I don't know. But whatever it is, it feels circumstantial. Feels circumstantial. So I'd be like, so if this person comes in again, it feels like a female. That's why I was like, I don't know about like love. It just feels like a female energy. I would just be like, nah, I'm out. Drop it like it's hot. I think that's all, right? But yeah, that's what I got on that. All right. Yeah, drop it like it's hot. Okay. Oh, did I miss something here? Yes. And yes, unfortunately, the friend is friends with my other friends that I had to see. Oh, okay. Did I miss something before that? Could be a friend that I had to go to court with against her brother. Oh, okay. Court against her brother. Yeah, I think that's the energy. It is her. We talked and she lied. Oh, there it is. Okay, there it is. It's just if it's her, we talked and she lied again about. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. I think this person is going to try to weasel the way in. That makes sense. Yeah, because when I got the Five of Wands, I'm like, there's competitive energy here too. There's other people around it, other people involved. Like it's the Five of Wands energy. If you saw the picture, I put it back in my deck. It's shuffled in, but it's like the wands are crossing each other, so it's like very competitive, and so that makes sense. That makes sense. So perfect. Good. Drop it. Done. Close the door. No more again. This will change your relationships in the future. That was your karma then, and resolve that. Okay, good. Because I had to go on a little longer because I want to make sure it was being clear. And I was kind of a little nosy too. Like what is this person that's coming up so vaguely? So cool. That makes sense. It's a change for you. That's old chapter, old news. That's done. New chapter opening. Do you know what I mean? New chapter opening. I think you're going to see a lot of changes in relationships this year, Kristen. You know, both on the romantic and also the friendship, all across the board. So, all right, next we have Abby Co. Abby Co. Not like Home Depot. Abby Co. I'm sorry. I'm a musician too, so I hear things that have a rhythmic pattern. I tend to be stupid about it. So, all right, card pull for Abby. Okay. Okay. Slight changes ahead. Abby Co. I love that name. It's just something. I just love I love your energy of the name because it makes you feel like I want to have fun with you. There's gonna be a lot of change this year. Primarily, there's a lot of travel. I think coming. I just showed the cards. It's a card pull. You might be traveling, if not moving too. I get traveling and moving energy at the same time for some reason. So I feel like you might take a trip this year. That trip might inspire you to move. It feels unexpected to me. And before that, you got the Tower card in reverse. So the Tower card in reverse is really just kind of saying that, there's minor changes. Not like the Tower card in reverse is major change, like overhaul. So it's a change, but not a change that's completely like strenuous, like you're revamping. It just might be change. Like I'm traveling, I'm taking a trip, and this trip is inspiring me. I want to maybe relocate, move, right? So that's good change for me. And the three of hearts too is kind of like, you have some emotional purging to do. So if there's been some upset in a relationship, that's got to go. Like some pain of a relationship, some upset of a relationship, that's got to go. Because I feel like you might be still like carrying it around. This feels past to me. So I feel like the past relationship might be holding on to is a past relationship that might have been getting to you, or just you haven't fully resolved. That energy's got to purge it all out. Because that could be interfering with your current relationships, so, but, and this is coming up because something might come up too, like just like the last read, some reminder of the past might come up for you too, where you have to resolve that heartbreak energy. You know what I mean? So, not that it's going to be like strenuous. It's just going to be something like, I've been kind of like holding back or repressing myself because that past relationship that's kind of like threw me off balance, and I'm coming to terms with that now. You know what I mean? So it feels like a emotional resolve, and letting go of a past upset, and that's going to kind of let you free. And so, because I see that freeing energy this year, like traveling, moving, that traveling that will inspire a move in a sense, And again, this is coming up. You were lied to about something. Someone was being dishonest to you, or someone's being dishonest to you, and that's going to come to light, and that's going to be again this like emotional heartbreak that you got to let go of. So either someone has duped you before in the past, you got to let go of, or you'll realize that someone's been kind of being dishonest and not true, and that's going to come to light. Either way, that coming to light is going to benefit you. It's like going to work in your favor. Like, thank God I know, or you're not going to be like, it's not going to be a setback for you. It's be like, fuck this, I'm done. I'm moving on from this. And when that happens, you'll understand what that means is coming out, because it's just a card pull, generic card pull, but I try to be as specific as possible with just a card pull, but you'll understand when that comes about. You'll understand you're right on track. You're right on time. Everything's right on time. Just pause this for a second to have some sniffle. Okay, Kate, anything on your radar for me to be in a romantic relationship? Kate, let's see. This year. Put some cards in it. I'm seeing it. I'm not saying this because I want to make you feel better, because you have to wait another year, I'd tell you. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing you dabbling. I'm trying to figure out why I got Thursday, not a month. Like maybe because someone just said Thursday. I don't know why. There's something with a Thursday outing that you might meet this individual. And it feels like it could be in 3 to 4 months, 5 months. Whether it's like, a long-term relationship, I don't know. I'm going to keep that a mystery. I don't want to go that far with it. But I feel like someone else, I see you mingling with somebody. Whether maybe, I don't know if it's somebody on the Thursday night show, but maybe on a Thursday night event that you attend to, and in a few months' time. Because the first thing I kept saying, I kept seeing Connect Zone, it was on a Thursday. And like, I could see the person. And so, yeah, but it's still, 3 or 4 months out. But again, it feels like you're finally connecting, like you're finally feeling you're connecting with somebody. You know what I mean? I feel that energy. I don't want to go any further as where it will go, because I don't want to be like, oh, it's going to be forever, or it's not going to be forever. I just rather leave that kind of a mystery. So I'm not even going to read that far on it. But I feel like it's opening for you finally in that way. I am not saying this to make you feel better, because if you had to say, look, sorry, this isn't your year, Kate, I tell you. But I feel like this year you start opening the door to that. You know what I'm saying? I feel that happening. I feel someone kind of mingling in where you feel like you met someone that's kind of like you. So that's good. So my advice, though, is to make sure you're just being open and you're not expecting too much either, from somebody. You're just like, I'm just going to ride this out. I'm going to ride this out. Just going to I'm not going to give all right away and not expect them to give it all. I'm just going to take it step by step with this. That's be the most brilliant thing you can do when you meet this person, because it could feel intoxicating. It could feel like very impulsive, but you want to make sure it's like, okay, look, it's just this energy is new. It's like, I haven't felt this energy well. Let me just still take it slow, but not where I'm holding back either. But understand it's good to kind of nurture it instead of just rushing on into that. That's the advice I feel like I need to give you on it. But I feel like you've subconsciously been opening the door and peeking. So I feel like last year you've opened the door, you peek, and then you shut your door and you hide. Like you haven't realized you've been doing that. Like last year, you're just like, let's open the door, and I'm ready. I'm in there. I'm closing the door again. So you've been playing that game with yourself. Now I feel like this year you'll be open the door. You're gonna keep it open. You're gonna sit there for a little bit now, figuratively speaking. So yeah, make sure you're playing it smooth that way, and that you're not just opening doors, shut the door, shut the door, open it, take it slow, feel it in, this way you don't push them away, or you don't push yourself away, keep yourself in isolation. They're saying you have that tendency, right? So good. I mean, let's meet people. Come on, Kate, what's the wait? No wait. Good, yeah, but don't do that. Seriously, it's just people. This shouldn't be difficult to meet people, right? We think a relationship is so hard. It's it's not hard. It's just meeting another person. There's so many other people out there. Let this be easy. Let this be okay, next person. Let it be easy for you, because it really is. Okay, Tara Matisse. Is my diet okay? Is there anything I should avoid in my diet? Caffeine. Your diet's fine. I just feel like anything caffeinated or any synthetic energy push, I feel like has to go, Tara. So, yeah. So, and if you're not having caffeine, then don't keep it that way. But for the most part, everything seems okay with your diet. Let me see if if you're deprived of anything. Are you deprived of anything energetically? No, you're a little dehydrated. Just a little dehydrated. So let's get yourself hydrating a little bit better, okay? So they're saying the caffeine, because for some people it harms the body, right? Or it just fucks with the chemistry in the body. I think with you it does, and then it depletes you, makes you dehydrated, and so I feel like you're dehydrated because of it. You know, Tara? So so that's what I feel. Yeah, that sounds right. It always gives me a headache, migraine. Yeah, because it's depleting you, and it's fucking with your chemistry. Pull that out. Like, do detox, and find other things. You know, maybe herbal teas, you know, that you can find that are not caffeinated, like herbal teas. And for some people, they're like so addicted to caffeine, they're fine on it. Some people just really messes you up. So I feel like you need to avoid that. But try herbal teas, try other things, you know, that can kind of still give you, like, I know like chai tea is like, I mean, I've never been a coffee drinker myself, but I love chai tea, and those different herbal teas too are great. And just find a good substitute. You know, I recognize, this is funny you're saying this to me, Tara, because I was having kombucha every single day, right? And I started to become really like bloated, and that's not like me to do. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like, why am I getting like just bloated? And something told me I was drinking too much kombucha. And I'm thinking, oh, the kombucha's helping my stomach. And I stopped the kombucha, and I like dropped 5 pounds in a week. And I'm not so like puffy anymore. And I recognize, well, it could be the carbonation, or I'm just having too much of it, right? So moderation is always a key. But I would say, for your case, I would just really just find a different alternative to caffeine, and you might find that your energy is more consistent. You know, so there's so many things you can do, you know. But for the most part, your diet's pretty good. If like other than that, it feels like you're pretty good. I just want you to be more focused on being more nutrient dense. Okay, let me check my PayPal. I keep forgetting. I gotta go to my PayPal, because people utilize PayPal too. And give me one momento, ladies and gentlemen. We also have a wonderful blessing, a wonderful treat, which is a blessing too, from Lafayette, a new sound bath coming up too, so that's great. Oof, I missed out on a lot of you guys. Okay, Heather Campbell. Question is, I have a mission, but what do you feel is my purpose? Thanks. That's a loaded question for a simple live show. Your purpose. Let me see if that comes quickly to me. And then actually someone booked a video session, and let me see the purpose. How they came out. Purpose. It's funny. It's just very difficult out of context. I really got to dive in. That's a very loaded question for just a text out of context, because it's loaded. It's not just one thing. You're looking for one thing. It's not that, you know. And I don't want to be general about it either. Okay. The word I heard too, I feel like this is loaded to me, because it's not so a simple question. I feel like you've been layering in your life, just piling on things, responsibilities, piling on, you know, things you have to do, piling on emotional things, right? And with this very kind of compulsive energy in life. The purpose, this is where it becomes very simple based on the complexity of why you have this thing. Your purpose is to simplify. So if you take simplify and put that through a lens of whatever you're doing, I think you'll understand what you need to be doing and why and how. Because they keep showing you like encumber yourself with all these layers, all these stacks, all these to-dos, and all these, you know, things that you feel responsible for, and all these things you feel like you have to do, and saying, you know, no, your purpose is to simplify. Perhaps you need to start helping others to simplify in different ways. You know, and so that simplify can be expressed in so many different ways. It can be like, well, I just created an invention that simplifies things for people, yada, yada. So your purpose is to simplify and to find the structure and balance through the simplicity without the over encumbrance of things. And so when I say things, I'm talking more emotionally. Now, the devil card comes out when I'm saying this too, is because the devil card is, if you notice, they're kind of enslaved to the devil here, which is all about density. And I feel like you grounded yourself too much with things and ideas and circumstances that you've forgotten, or at least are not allowing yourself to feel what it's like to be free from that type of obligation and density. So when you simplify, you kind of cut those chains from that. So purpose is not a career expression. The expression of career is actually manifests and becomes realized when you actually find the purpose. And the purpose is always karmic. And sorry guys, I'm dealing with my allergies while I'm moving out of Palm Springs. I've been dealing with allergies every day out here and for a long time. And so is Christopher. So that's why I'm moving in May and June. So I'm sorry you keep hearing me have to sniffle. It's not, the lights make it worse. But you need to simplify right now and understand that you need to find yourself you're trying to ground yourself too much that it's taking the inspiration out of you. So when you understand the purpose is to simplify, then you understand how to express that through career, hobbies, and all these other things, and how to actually handle your relationships. Okay? So remember guys, your purpose is your karmic lesson. Your purpose is your theme. And when you find a person, then that turns into a physical expression. Okay? All right. Okay, so we have Callie Barrantos. Nina, if you can find Callie Barrantos, she wanted a live reading, but she gave PayPal. I can only do it on Venmo for the live reading. So if you get a hold of her, I have to somehow get her to a way to correspond her to send her a link for the live video. I can't do it through PayPal. So if you can try to get a hold of Callie Barrantos, so we can somehow send her, I can send her that link. Because I can only do it to Venmo, I can't send the link to PayPal. And let me just get the rest of these done. Patricia Bonecutter says, commercial realtor starts marketing my business in a week. Do you see it selling soon? My sister and I are planning some major dental work and are wondering if we should have done it in Mexico or the USA. Commercial realtor starts marketing my business in a week. You start selling soon. I don't know it's soon. Three months I get. I just sit on this because I'm seeing like a trajectory of complications with it, Patricia. So there might be some of these in 3 months. I don't think it's going to be like a quick, like, oh, we have someone. It could be like, I'll say between now and 3 months. I'll give it that way. Okay. So there might be interests on this. There might be some fluctuations, you know, on the price and on the selling of that. But, you know, I feel like May is a really good time for this to sell. But if you do it prior to May, then it could take a few months. Okay, Patricia? So we're almost in February, March, April. So May, actually that makes sense because that'd be 3 months is basically quite around close to May. So, but it's not written in the stars. So it's not like, oh, on this date it's going to be sold. Some things are like that. A lot of things are not written in the stars that way. So I can say, I feel parameter between now and 3 months. You know, you have an interest on that marketing your business. So between now and 3 months. And you're planning some major dental work. You're wondering if you should have it done in Mexico or USA. Doesn't matter. The place doesn't matter, whether it's here or Mexico. They're saying doesn't matter. You know, I would be more prone for USA. You know, personally, but that's also the read I get. It's just stick it in the USA. It doesn't. You might save some money for Mexico, but is it? I don't know if it's going to balance out to where you still have to travel. So, if it's just keep it simple. They're saying with that work, the dental work. So, okay, let me copy this with Nina. This link here. All right, Nina. I text you link. So yeah. So give it like 3 months, Patricia. Or in that time. I'm just gonna nail these out here, and then we have Heather Campbell. Yeah, Heather, you didn't have to send the question again. I have my mission, but what is the vibrational purpose behind it? Yeah, we got that. Simplify. We got it. You're fine, and I'll send you back that money because you didn't need to send 2 questions. So I'll send you back one of those $20. Because you didn't need to pay twice. But yeah, we said that. Simplifying. And looking through the lens of simple, that's your karmic purpose. And understanding the simplifying about being in your true essence, not being locked down with density or so much to-dos in that sense. So that's what we're saying, Heather. So you asked that. So when you see it that way, then you understand that when you filter life through that way. Because when I understand my karmic purpose and I start formatting, I understand how to express it. Okay? This question. So I'll just send you back. You didn't need to pay for 2 questions, 2 for the same question, so I'll just refund one of those. Capiche? Capiche. Okay. All right. So good, Heather. So we refunded you for the one. Okay. And then C. Henry. I'm just not reading it now. Horus's Trigger Hope. I'm leaving my job. What do you see as my next best step for income or balancing divine feminine, divine masculine? Thank you, Scott. Next best step for... This might sound so on the nose, though. I have to sit with this. Yeah, I might sit with this. Oh, as one. I love your image and I love your name. I love it. It's great. Yeah. So understand what I mean by that. If your divine purpose is to simplify, view everything through life. That how do I simplify this relationship? How to simplify my expression? How can I help people to simplify? You know what I'm saying? Watch how life changes with that. That's not everybody's purpose. Like some people have that purpose. Many people don't. Many people need to practice more dynamic in life. And so, you'll see, and then you'll understand the expressions that will be inspired to you, Heather, through that lens, through that karmic purpose. Because you're obviously your previous incarnations, you took on too much responsibility, you took on too much obligations. You know, you've took on too much, for others, where you create codependency or enabling energy in your past incarnation. So yes, and so you might find things are just even, quiet at times in your life. Like, why are things so quiet? I need something to fill that space. And life's like, nope, keep it simple. Keep it that way. So, and you might be uncomfortable in the quiet space. You might be uncomfortable, when things are simple. So that's showing you that there's a need to want to adapt and to embrace that. Yeah. Remember, simplify it. It refines it. So. And look out, I sent that other refund, and we have. Let me first finish before I get to this routine. I got to finish this read here with Horus's Trigger Hope. Your next best step. What's interesting, Horus's Trigger Hope, and I didn't want to sound on the money or on the nose with this, but why aren't you working with horses right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like, and if it's not working with horses and working with energy healing through animals, I feel that. And I hate to sound cliche or so on the nose because the name of your handle here, but I feel that, and I think that for you, it's like, I feel like you've done the project managing or project thing. And so I feel like there needs to be some healing coming into what you're doing now or how you're expressing healing within you. So whether it's through animals, but that also heard project management too. So maybe at some point you orchestrate something with managing projects and working with animals and so forth. So next step is focusing on that healing energy, that healing essence, and stepping out of the box, they're saying, with what you haven't necessarily done before, and so it's funny, horses and, Callie, you're backstage. Thanks for waiting. We'll get you in a moment. But I have a lot of clients that do horse braiding, horse training, horse cleaning, I'm attracted to people who work with horses. So Sarah, if you're in the room, maybe you can chat with Horses Trigger Hope and like get in line with her. You know what? Let me screenshot this. Horses Trigger Hope. Nina, can you get Horses Triggers Hope email address somehow? Nina, because I want to connect her with my client / friend Sarah, who does horse braiding, and she was looking for someone to help her to do horse braiding as a job. So perhaps, and I'm not saying this specifically, but maybe I can connect you at least to get to familiar with the space. Okay. So if Nina, if you can get Horse Triggers Hope email and get it to me so I can email her and try to, there she is. There's Sarah. Sarah, can you talk with, Horse Trigger Hope? Because she wants to start work with horses too. And so maybe you guys can talk about how to do so. Maybe talk about braiding. All right. And Horses Trigger Hope, look in the chat with Benjamin Rampel. Okay. I love connecting you all with each other because it's always like a reason for everyone connecting. So there you go. That answers your question right there. Horses Trigger Hope. Horses Trigger Hope, chat with Benjamin Rampel right there. Okay. You two, Benjamin Rampel and the Horse Trigger Hope, you two communicate. Dude, that's Sarah under Benjamin. So you guys work that out because that'd be awesome if you guys can connect like that. Okay, let's get to this live reading here. Add it to the, not left but right. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, I have you on live now. Thank you for waiting. Add it to the, not left but right. Can you hear me? Hello? Here we go. There we go. Okay, I have you on live now. So there's a massive delay. Not left but right. Can you hear me? Hello? There's a delay here. There we go. Okay, I have you on live. There's too much of a delay here.
Uh-oh.
You might want to turn the audio down on your TV and maybe just focus on...
I'm on my phone, but I've got you on my TV.
Yeah, maybe just lower your TV so you can hear me so there's not a delay.
You might want to turn the audio down on the TV.
Yes. Because then you hear yourself lagging too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So, what's your first name?
Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. So what's your question?
Oh God, where do I start?
Be mindful. We're on a live show. We don't have too much time, just so you can be mindful.
It's mostly about my career. Kind of where you see it taking off this year. I don't know how much information you want me to give you with regards to that.
That's fine.
I mean,
let me see. Do you mind just help me with what are you doing? What's your career right now? What are you in right now? So I can just, I'm not reading it, to be honest with you, what you're doing.
Okay. I was like a business admin / manager of a major construction company. Okay, because I wrote down contractor, and I'm like, there's no way she's a contractor, so that makes sense. You were dealing with construction and contracting, right? Yes.
Okay, thank you. Because I'm like, I don't understand why I was getting contractor from you. So I'm like, I'm not really getting any. Okay, that makes sense. Let me see how that's transitioning though into that.
Okay.
If there's a change, because I feel like there will be a change.
Yes.
A massive change, but like it's just so different. You know, this is going to be a very interesting year for you. I'll just say this because the whole contractual thing, the construction stuff that you did before, whatever you've done with the admin, all that stuff, like that's just not your cup of tea. I kind of feel like you'll be getting into like, you might get a job at a nonprofit first. I feel like you'll be working more of a charitable environment. So it might mean that you actually participate in a charity or working for a charitable cause or a nonprofit in that sense. I feel like your environment needs to change. Because I feel like you're not in that environment now, and then I feel like you will be gravitating into that environment this year. So, because I always feel like there's a caretaking energy that you have that needs to be expressed. So either it's helping people, because I mean, if you actually went to nursing school, you'd be a great nurse actually, because you have that caretaking energy. So that's going to need, and we were talking about divine feminine before, about that kind of resurrecting a lot of people. You're going to feel the need. I need to help people. I need to do something to help others and help the community. So, because they'll show me a flashback. There's a woman that goes around and she gives, food to homeless people, and she records it on Instagram. Not that you're doing that. I just sense that similar vibe with you, that you're finding a way to help those in need in a charitable cause and making a living at it too, though. That being your job. So, but it might start that you get a job at a nonprofit that is charitable in that sense. So to me, you'll still be doing site administrative kind of work in a sense, or delegating in a sense, but it's just the environment that needs to change and has to be more charitable for you to express that caretaking energy that you're just not expressing right now.
Right. I would agree with that.
I mean, did you feel responsible for mom? Did you have to like caretake mom at some point, or feel responsible for mom? Because I felt like there's like an imbalanced energy of caretaking with mom, and I feel like that's kind of exhausted you, and so you feel like now I feel like I really, I don't know how to do that. I need to focus on myself, but you feel like you're running around for everybody else. But I feel like if that empathy or caretaking energy expressed in a balanced way, you'll feel whole and complete, like you have a purpose again.
Right, exactly, because it was probably just in a nutshell, I'm basically the caretaker of pretty much everybody in my family, and it starts to feel like it's taken for granted at some point, or it's just expected rather. So yeah.
But the mom energy feels demanding on you for some reason. I feel like the mom energy has been very heavy on you, in retrospect to all of that. And I think that's kind of made you feel like where you don't know where to fit in, and how you feel appreciated. I feel like your mom energy is kind of the one that's kind of started that trend in a way, not deliberately or maliciously. I think that's where it's kind of stemmed from, where you feel like I have to just do things and run around for people. I have to. And, and I feel like your job has been doing that too, running around with, because I just booked like contractors. What the fuck is this? So when you're saying, I'm like, okay, I wasn't really off. It's just that you've been running around doing things that's not of interest to you. But if you understand, you have the heart of compassion, but then you find ways to express that in an environment that you see it making a difference, you'll feel appreciated. Because right now, your karmic lesson is to feel appreciated right now. That's what you have to learn, and you have to put yourself in that environment. So you said you've been taken advantage of. So finding a position that you work in where you see that appreciation and people are lit up because of your influences or whatever you're working in as being charitable and helping others, you're going to understand what that appreciation is, but also that you feel like you actually are making a real difference, not enabling people.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm saying to you this year, there's a lot of change in that way, because that's not just like a new job. That's a different perspective of you.
Right.
And putting your foot 100%. Down.
Yep.
And you have to be working more on you have circulation issues, so you need to start working on, because I feel like there's circulation issues that are primarily in your legs, so there might be inflammation or circulation issues that you need to start resolving right now too. So I feel like when you're not working, you're not taking care of you, or you're not moving enough. I feel like you're burnt out, so then you're probably sitting where you sit right now a lot when you're not working, instead of doing other things that keep you active. So saying you want to make sure you're doing things for yourself, and maybe taking a brisk walk every now and then to create movement just for you and nobody else. Because I'm sensing like, circulation issues in the leg, and all those things that I feel like that just showing to you that you're holding on to a lot of repressed energy that's not able to be expressed out of you, and so, and I don't want you to experience health issues because of this either.
No. And I do have, what do they call that where it's numbness in the feet and the lower legs. I can never think of not an epidural. Gosh damn it, Kelly. But anyways, I've been diagnosed with that or whatever. But I've recently lost over 100 pounds.
Good for you. So, yeah. Good for you.
And
good for you.
I quit smoking 3 years ago, so that's kind of me taking care of myself.
Good for you. Good for you. Yeah. Did you battle with sobriety at some point too?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I feel like even with sobriety, you've also had issues with that, and that was also that was heavy for you. But I feel like the issues with sobriety was because of the mom energy.
Yeah.
Stemmed from you've inherited that from mom energy. So I feel like that healing is good, but I want to make sure that you're actually making. Here's my recommendation for the energy thing. I would recommend acupuncture. Get it.
Because I just actually did acupuncture I tried it actually in November and December, and then I quit doing it just because Christmas was coming up and whatever. And I had a lot
Don't
going
quit. Stay consistent with you. Stay consistent with you, okay? Because, the symbology of numbness and lack of feeling in the legs is basically a mobility issue. And it's also a neurological issue, too, of not allowing yourself to move or create movement for yourself. So it's keeping you stuck. It's keeping you settled. So that's emotional energy, too, that's creating a lot of this. And so with acupuncture, they're good at kind of just shifting the energy around, but you also want to work on your emotional perspective right now and, how you deprive yourself and just work on that in conjunction to the consistency of acupuncture. You'll find a lot more of that centered energy for yourself, right? So I would definitely focus on that and be consistent with that. Congratulations on the changes that you've made. I celebrate that. And I want people to understand, like, it's possible you lost 100 pounds. That is fantastic. Amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. But don't forget the emotional health and understand that a lot of the burdens that you possess comes from mom. The way she processed, the way she raised you. And it wasn't malicious, but you just inherited all that shit.
Yep, I did. I absolutely 100% did.
So, yeah. but understand you're going to be charitable in a way that's like, I have the caretaking energy, but now I'm finding the balance of that. And I want to start seeing how it's really going to affect people who really need it. And you'll start setting the boundaries for people who are maybe just taking advantage of you and they don't really need your help. And they're just utilizing because you're offering it.
Oddly enough, the strength tests finder, that test that people take to find out what their top 5 strengths are. Yeah. Number 1 for me was empathy.
Makes sense. To a fault, though.
Empathy, positivity. Yeah, absolutely.
But empathy to a fault. Yeah, to a fault. What did you have a issue? Is there a disconnect? Do you have a brother energy that's been disconnected or something too? Why do I feel a estrangement to a brother energy?
I have a younger brother. We don't talk often. I mean, we live in the same city and whatever, but we probably talk maybe once a month, if that. I mean, we don't talk a lot.
So that's a strange. I don't know if
that's considered it strange. But,
well, for me, but I feel like there's a gap between you two. And I feel like I'm saying this because I feel like there needs to be a resolution there or some sort of closeness configured there. That might just happen this year. You guys might start becoming, a little closer because I feel like I feel like you guys should be closer, right? And so I don't know if you guys were once close before, but then there's just been this kind of separation. And maybe you haven't been for quite some time. I feel like that closeness will reestablish again. Because I also feel like you guys somehow emotionally can help each other work through these issues with the family, but I feel like he could be great assistance or aid and kind of like almost like a shoulder you can lean on a little bit too. I just like your brother right now is just really self-consumed, and he just set up so many walls with the family. He's like, well, fuck them all. I don't want to deal with them. They're crazy, and so whatever. Right? I'm keeping my distance, right, and doing his own thing. But I think that you guys will both recognize that like you both might be very similar actually. You and your brother.
We are. We're not estranged by any stretch of the imagination, and there's not even any bad blood. It's just maybe preoccupied with life and.
Sure. No. Maybe estrangement is a strong word for me. I just, like I said, a gap there. Right. A gap. So I can let's plug out the word and say there was more of a gap there. I think that will be filled, because I'm like there should be more of a closeness between you two. You guys should be supporting each other because you guys kind of feel things and see things the same way. So that you guys might start finding more of a bond this year. That's probably why I'm feeling that too.
Okay. I can see that. I can absolutely see that.
Yeah, because I like your brother's energy. He's not stupid. Your brother's also feel like he's been through a lot of shit, but he's not dumb. Like I feel like he's very perceptive. He's very humble and very diplomatic about things. So I think that you might find a kindling. I hate to say kindling, but where you guys become closer this year too. And I think that would be helpful for you emotionally too.
Oh yeah, Yeah, I love my brother. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
Any other questions you have for me, real quick, before we close?
I mean, just real quick. Any love interests in there? I've been single for 100 years, literally.
Well, to be honest with you, that's like no, I'll make it simple. You can change the outcome of this. It's just you haven't been applying the emphasis to where you're being vibrant. right? So I'm not going to say I see it, and I'm not going to say I don't see it. I just feel like we need to change things about yourself. We need to emphasize and make more space for it. You haven't made space for it, my love. Let's just be honest. You haven't made emotional space for it, you know. Right. So and that's the only issue here. Make the emotional space for it, then you possibly can. If you did make emotional space for this, I think like this year you'll be able to mingle a little bit more and have more fun, you know. But I think you're going to have a stage of having fun first, because then you have to understand, you know, that how can I have fun but still remain healthy, right? And not going off the deep end, and maintain my balance, and also be able to mingle. So you might have some time where you're trying to find that balance, but then when you do, then you'll meet someone of interest. So yeah, I do. Right now, the prediction for me is like between like, it could be 3 years, but that doesn't have to be 3 years. Right, like no. it just renders now 3 to 5 years as your prediction. But I'm a psychic. It's like, okay, it's a prediction, but there's reasons why that's rendering this way. You don't have to wait 3 to 5 years. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. If you made space for it, you understand the balance of being like having fun, but not, you know, going off the deep end, or, you know, in a sense, or isolating at the same time too, then you can actually bring it in a lot sooner. So that is not a karmic. There, basically. Well, I know, but making space. But making space for it's there's a different thing, because if you think about making space for it, putting yourself out there seems like a big leap right now, because you don't understand what that means. You just go to a bar. It's like, but if you make space for it energetically, you can meet someone in the grocery store.
True.
You know what I'm saying? It's a different way of looking at that. So I would just process that like that for this year, because you can open it up this year. I mean, the energies and flow collectively for you to do so this year. Otherwise, it'll take you 3 to 5 years that you will develop that openness, and it'll come in. But I don't think that time frame is necessary. I think you can do that a lot sooner. All right, so our predictions are flexible. Like some of them are. Sometimes things are set in stone, some things are not. Some things are just rendering because of where you're at. So in this case, it just renders that way because of where you're at. I think when you become in tune to the self-environment, you'll have a lot of even new friendships coming in. So I think the closest of your brother is, and that coming closer would be great for you to feel more confident, you know, and being social again, you know. Yeah. So I definitely feel that. And like that charitable energy too, I feel that will be coming to you this year too. That's going to be a lot of great change. And use yourself as a testimony. You lost a shitload of weight. Use yourself as a testimony for other people too who are overweight and feel like they can't do it or feel stuck.
Right.
Go online to mentor people.
I was a prisoner in my own body for 4 years, and it was a nightmare. And I was obviously over time was getting very, very depressed, and you know, all the things that go with that.
You're strong, but you're very, very strong, because if you can still do that while you're being encumbered by all that emotional stress and responsibility, look how strong you are. Imagine if you pull away from all that other getting to all this energy and you preserve that strength yourself. Imagine what you could be. You could be a powerhouse. You are a powerhouse. You're a fucking powerhouse, but don't let that, again, you could be either empowered with that or disempowered. If you're disempowered, you'll fall into like, compulsive energy and discord in your life. So know that power. I mean, you're a beast. You lost 100 pounds after amidst all the stress you've been going through.
Yeah. And it's been
Yeah. But again, so you might want to like, maybe like start, inspiring other women on posts and get yourself out there to use your voice to show that they can do the same thing too. Give yourself a purpose. Use your testimony as a purpose, and tell people what they need to avoid as well. Be a voice for that.
Right. Absolutely. No, it's funny because I've been I know this because it's really not something I would do normally, but I've been actually playing around with like, should I start a YouTube channel or should I just kind of throwing stuff out there.
Yes, Facebook, who cares? Just get on it.
Yeah.
Just get on it. Not for nothing, like, I'm 43, I'm not 20 something, but like, it seems like the older generations have taken over TikTok and Instagram, so it's like all the younger kids are like they're watching all us older folks. So, and so you definitely should, you got to express that. You got to show that you have a purpose with this, my love. So yes, absolutely. You're so, to me, like, I know it's just a short little read here, but I read your essence. You have a lot of stories to tell. You have a lot of shit that you've been through. You're very insightful. You have a very big perspective. So I think a lot of people would be appreciative to hearing your perspective on things. Do it.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to look farther in. I'm absolutely going to definitely do some more homework on it. So.
It's no homework. Just create an account and create a video. That's it.
I'm one of those people that like read, I study something for the long, and I mean, I'm not very impulsive, unfortunately, and I read up, so I need to move forward because I'm not a young spring chicken anymore either. So
it doesn't matter. None of that matters. None of that matters. But yeah, look into it. Look into it and let all of us know when you do too. Okay.
100%.
All right, my love. You're amazing.
Thank
and
you,
congratulations.
Scott.
All right. Keep us all posted.
Thank you. I
All
will.
right.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
my love. Have a wonderful night. Okay.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Wow. It's amazing. 100 pounds, guys. And she's dealing with so much shit around her, and she still is finding the ways to do that. Isn't that amazing? And so I think that's amazing. I think that's fantastic. Just be an inspiration for you guys. Okay. So let's look at the final readings up in here too, so we can close the night. What did here? You have to also tell us what you eat and do to look good as you minus the sinuses. Sorry. Yeah. Well, my sinuses is actually from my environment. So yeah, I can't help but I'm leaving, so I won't have the sinuses anymore. But I eat well. I watch what I eat. I don't use chemicals. I use, non-toxic soaps, and I use essential oils for everything, and I make sure everything's organic. I don't eat and consume vegetable oils or refined sugars. And so, yeah, I shop the perimeters, as you know, of the grocery store. So yeah, I definitely mind it, my health here. All right, Catherine, and we have a few more. So thanks you guys for waiting. We're almost there. My question, which could be answered by email, is: do I accept the offer made on the rental offer now? It's below the asking price. Good deal for him, but the market isn't fat right now. You might remember the person from personal reading. It's under dispute. The irritating lady died very suddenly, so the money would be held by lawyers until negotiations with the estate, waiting for blah, blah, blah. But that means the loss of $900 a month, as the lawyer's rate is half the rent return. Forgot to email, If too late, yes, no, will suffice. Thank you, birthday boy. Honestly, my love, Catherine, they're just saying you could either wait till May or just be done with it. Ask yourself how much money you're spending if you prolong this and wait for it versus just like being done with it, right? So, yeah, I feel like they're just saying like to be done with it. Just accept it and move forward. It's not like you're losing completely, Catherine, but it's a good deal. But I feel like the negotiation area is like kind of done. I mean, you can try to negotiate a little higher too if you'd like. But it's almost like saying, let's just kind of let's move on from this. Otherwise, you probably have to wait till May for things to really get popping, like I said. So, personally, I'm just like, yes, see if you can go a little higher and say like, yes. But it's just too complex, Catherine. It's just too complex, for things to hold off more. Sometimes logic's like, oh, let's wait a little longer. It's like, but then it never may happen, right? So something tells me intuitively, just like, let's close this out now. So okay. Hope you're still in the room, Catherine. And then we have, let's see here. Did we do Sophia R? No, I didn't. So we have next is Sophia, and then we have Andy, and then we're done. All right, and Nina just announced that we're closing down the readings if you're in the room still. All right, Sophia. Yes, I will try. Good night, Aquilapan. Even though you called me what my mama does when I'm in trouble. Was that you, Catherine? All right, this is for Sophia R. Okay. All right, Sophia. Change of work. This is a simple card pull. Make sure you're not missing other opportunities when it comes to career in your work environment, Sophia. I feel like right now there might be a lot of competing interest, or even with work, there might be, maybe chaos at work or things may feel fragmented, but you're missing the bigger picture because you're focusing on maybe how work is going now. And so you're not really seeing the bigger picture outside of, what you're doing currently to gain insight of what your next steps really are and to align with new opportunities. So with that said, I feel like there will be new opportunities for work coming. right? And you've been missing them, but I feel like you'll be more open to that. So be prepared, Sophia, for more opportunities when it comes to work. I think there's been a lot of competitive energy at work, that's been blinding you to what you really deserve or the opportunities you really need. And I think that will break its barrier point or break its point to where you're like, I deserve this, I need this, I'm going to focus on this opportunity, not kind of blind myself to the opportunities that I need. So I feel that coming, this year too, and putting yourself first in that sense. Okay. And this is all about fast movement success in that regard. When you do that, when you realize that. So getting the promotions or getting the elevation and what you need from work, getting that in, allowing yourself to receive it now. That's what it feels like to me. So change in career, change in work, or expansion and such this year, it feels like. So that's good. Last but certainly not least, we have Andy Joe. Last time you did a read on my work situation, I am still hitting some roadblocks with compensation. Want to know if I can trust this company or still, or anything you're picking up on. I'm just getting like delays again. It just feels delayed. I feel like there's intentions to, but delays. But I feel like there needs to be some legalities involved, right? So, I don't know about trusting though, Andy. I wouldn't say like you can trust them. I wouldn't say trust, but like I still feel like it will take time before you get that compensation, get that money. But I definitely would not continue with them though. I would like hold back until you get paid. But I feel like the pay will come, but you need to like threaten lawsuit or threaten something to light a fire in their eyes to make sure, to let them know you will actually do something. But I would not be working until you do though. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think in time you will, I feel like in time you will get that, but at the same time, I feel like that, you have to keep pushing for that, so, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily, I wouldn't trust this company. I'm just trying to get more information. I wouldn't necessarily trust this company. It's not that they're not trustworthy. It's just like, for example, you might have a company that's trustworthy because they don't do very good and therefore they can't pay. So it's not like they're trying to be not trustworthy or they're just not trustworthy. They just, because of where they're at, it's not reliable. So I don't find them to be reliable, So no, you're not meant to stay there. No, I mean, we know this, you're not meant to stay there, but as far as the financials are concerned, then in time, but you got to keep pushing for it. Some other form of compensation is coming from another source where I won't need to be there. Look. Yeah, I definitely would look. I feel like the company had good intentions, but I feel like right now it's not reliable. So this is the Four of Wands came for you, which is kind of interesting. Because that's a new home energy, new card energy. Unless this is real estate. Too, Andy. So I feel like you will be drawn to something else, but I don't know if that's actually a move that we're talking about here, or real estate, or both, actually. Or getting to investing in real estate somehow. So I feel that coming. So it might actually be both. Maybe you guys will move, relocate, but then also maybe you invest in a property too. So I feel kind of both, and that could be more long-term too. So... but you gotta create that pipeline, and find out what that might be. I definitely would. I would not wait on anything. I would be proactive. Don't wait on anything. Make sure you're understanding what you can do for your next steps, right? And what you can invest in. But I'm just feeling real estate for some reason. So maybe take into consideration why I'm picking up on that. All right. But you got to be active. If you're waiting for something, it's not going to come. And I'm very vocal about the manifestation law of attraction stuff. It's not going to come if you're waiting for it. Be diligent. Like look on what you want to do. But I feel like some point you and your partner might get into an investment property or some point too in the future. So start pondering that. Okay. But please don't wait on something to show up. Please do your due diligence. We got to go out there. And when you do with intention, then shit will happen for sure. But the sign of waiting for something is a sign that you don't want to be in that essence of waiting. You want to be the essence of producing, creating, connecting. And when you do, then you find the right way to express that and the right way to receive, the insight and inspiration that you're looking for. So, I don't know why they keep just connecting with this real estate essence too. So, yeah. So yeah. What is this saying here? I hope that makes sense. But yeah, get that money, but don't trust that company. I would start being diligent, looking elsewhere, and for sure. And then you will, and then it'll make sense what I'm saying about a move or real estate. That'll all make sense to you. So it's happening for a reason. This is life showing to you, like, you should not be waiting for things that you deserve. Go out and claim it. That's what the message is, really, why you go into this. Lori Sue says, I've waited here for quite some time purposely to ask a question. Scott, you're so on point psychically. I'd love your insights for near future and true thanks. I didn't get a question in, Lori, or PayPal or Venmo, so that's the only time I get questions is when someone sends a PayPal or Venmo. That, I'm fair that way. So, and I go in order based on that. That's how I do it and answer questions. So, and we close them down because I'm burnt out. So maybe next time, if you want to send a question in, that'd be great. And something more specific. But you got this, Andy. You got this. Remember, just be proactive on this. Be proactive. Be insightful what you want to do. And yeah, and again, that'll make sense what I'm saying about this real estate thing too, as well. All right. Aswan, have a great night. And okay, now we're done with the live readings. I'm going to now give to you a treat from Lafayette, a nice new sound bath. And we'll be back and we'll close up. So enjoy this 5-minute sound bath from Lafayette to unwind and to tap into your divine feminine. That was great. And another world. Yeah, that's really great. I was looking for something to maybe play at closing, but that's a good. You guys should probably really check out Lafayette's collection of sound beds. That's what that QR code was on the video. So scan that with your phone, and you can get his whole collection and sleep with it and meditate to it, right? So I think it'd be good if you guys like check that out. I'm looking for a video right now as I speak about maybe one I can play to of Song of Mine. Been liking to close with the Song of Mine as well. So I'm just kind of looking for that real quick. Because Culture is a song, it's in the beginning of my show that plays in the intro, but I wouldn't play that, just the lyric video in closing. If I can find where the hell I put it. So bear with me 1 second and we will close it up. And if you guys missed out on LOL this morning, definitely check it out on Leading Out Loud. Check out, we did self-love, and here it is. I just found it. We definitely talked about self-love, and it's a self-love manifesto, and really getting into what that really means with Christopher and I. So, and tune in for next week as well for our LOL show. And I forgot what our topic is, but it's going to be pretty damn cool. Actually, change. We go into about like how to deal with change, and I think that's going to be a wonderful thing too. We talk about change. And again, I think right now during this time is like we are going through self-love trials and tribulations. We are going through a lot of change. So we understand need to weather the storm. We may be saying things that have been said before, but it's all because things have been said before doesn't necessarily mean that we don't need to hear it. I always say we all need cheerleaders in our lives, right? We all need to be cheered on through what we're doing. So, and that keeps us stable. It keeps us consistent. When you hear a song once that you love, you want to hear it again. It puts you in a mood. So that's what we're here for too, is not to, and sometimes, I love to dive deep philosophically and do groundbreaking things, but for the most part, it's keep us neutralized, keep ourselves energetically stable. That's what we're here for. So I appreciate every single one of you guys that kind of, that joined us tonight. And let me see if I can find this video again. Sorry, guys. Because I just pulled it out to put it in, and there it is. Let me do it separate by name so I can just pull it in. Appreciate all you guys for coming tonight. You all are amazing. And so for those of you who want to book a one-on-one reading with me, scottcruzpm.com. My website is in the description below. Life readings, we go in depth. Again, we do past life regressions if you want to, medical mediumship, career trajectory, all great stuff, relationships, trauma healing, all stuff. It's all listed on my website. I'm tired, guys. Sorry. And mediumship sessions, you want to connect with someone who's crossed over. That's also a session we do as well as Intuition Builder course to help refine your intuitive and mediumistic abilities. So scottcruzpm.com, and I will leave you guys with the full song Culture, the lyric video. Yeah. So hold on a second. I wanted to say goodbye first. I didn't like that I didn't say goodbye. Say goodbye. So I want to say goodbye to you all. Have a wonderful night. Thanks for stopping by. You're all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. What do you want to create? Much love. Let's start that over again, shall we? Good night, guys.
We gotta sink this ship machine. We'll turn the masters into slaves. We'll make them pay. We're rising up as one and done, resurrected from the pain. Oh, we reign. Oh, we gotta take this ship in the fire, gotta burn, shipping with the power up again, again, again. We've got to sink this ship in the fire, we gotta burn the ship in the power up again, again, again. We're building on a culture, not silence or censor. Let's abandon human nature for a mystical adventure. We're building on a culture, no more labels in the future. In harmony with nature, in a mystical adventure. We're building on a culture, just leave the world behind. We've got to leave it all, just leave the world behind. We've got to leave it all, just leave the world behind. It's We're building on a culture, not silence or censored. Let's abandon human nature for a mystical adventure. We're building on a culture, no more labels in the future. In harmony with nature, in a mystical adventure. We're building on a culture. Bringing down the beast machine.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing one-on-one readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to scottcruzpm.com to book your own personal session today.